Tavato jnanatesti tistat tasmin apomata visvadadati anijad ekamanaso javiyo nena devam apurvam purvam asat tadavato jnanatesti tistat tasmin apomata visvadadati tadijati tadnejati tadure tadvantike Tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasya shabhayataha tadijati tadnejati tadure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasya shabhayataha yasmin sarvani bhutani atmani evanupasyati tato sarvabhute suchatmanam tato na vijagupsate yasmin sarvani bhutani atmani evanupasyati sarvabhute suchatmanam tato na vijagupsate yasmin sarvani bhutani atmeva bud vijanataha tatrako mahakaha sukha ekatmam anupasyataha yasmin sarvani bhutani atmeva bud vijanataha tatrako mahakaha sukha ekatmam anupasyataha saprayagachu kamakayam avrinam asnaviram apapavidam Kavir manisi paribu swayambhu yatatat yuto ratan vyadadach chasvatipyaha samabhyaha navram asnavinam manisi paribu swayambhu yatatat yuto ratan vyadadach chasvatipyaha samabhyaha Andam tamaha pavishyanti ye vidyam upasyate tato bhuya ivate tamo yayu vidyayam rataha pavishyanti ye vidyam upasyate tato bhuya ivate tamo yayu vidyayam anyadi bahur vidyaya Anyadahur avidyaya iti susrumadhiranam yenastad vichachakshire Anyadevahur vidyaya Anyadahur avidyaya iti susrumadhiranam yenastad vichachakshire Vidyam cha yas yastad vidubayam saha Avidyaya miritam tirtva vidyayam ritam astute vidyam tam chayas rastrovayam saha avidyaya miritam tirtva vidyayam ritam astute antam tamaha sambhavat yesam antam tamaha pavisanti Ye sambhutim upasyate tato bhuya ivate tamo yayu sambhutam rataha anyadev santi ye sambhutim upasyate tato bhuya ivate tamo yayu sambhutam rataha anyad evahur sambhavat Anyad evur sambhavat anyad ahur sambhavat iti susrumadhiranam yenastad vichachakshire anyad evur sambhavat anyad ahur sambhavat iti susrumadhiranam yenastad vichachakshire sambhutim cha vinasam cha yastad vedo bayam saha vinasena miritum titva yayu sambhutam rataha. I'm sorry, sambhutam ritam asnute. Okay. Vinasam cha yastad vedo bayam saha vinasena miritum titva sambhutam ritam asnute. Hiranmayana patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tatvam pusam apavrinu satyadharmaya justaye. Pampusam apavrinu satyadharmaya justaye. Pusaneka seyama surya prajapatya vyuha rasmin samoha tejo yatte rupam kalyanatamam tamam tatte pasyami yo savaso purushaha sohamasmi. Pusaneka seyama surya prajapatya vyuha rasmin samoha tejo yatte rupam kalyanatamam tatte pasyami yo savaso purushaha sohamasmi. Vayuranilam anritam atedam basmantam sariram om kratosmara kritam smara kratosmara kritam smara. Anritam atedam basmantam sariram om kratosmara kritam smara kratosmara kritam smara. Agne naya supataraya svan Vishwani deva vayunani vivan Yodajma juhuranamino Puyistam te nama uktim vidima om tat sat Anyi Vishwani deva vayunani vidvan Yodajma juhuranamino Puyistam te nama uktim vidima. Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam eva vasishyate. Shri Isopanisad ki jai. So we're going to do a quick review of the introduction. So let's just go around the room one by one. What are the 4 defects of every human being?
Make mistakes, be illusion, commit cheating propensity, and
Okay. Yes. Where does the word Hindu come from?
Hindu comes from the people living beside the Sindhu River, and Arabs, they were not able to pronounce Hindu, they say they used to call him Hindu Bush. So the culture, actually, the people who live around us.
Yeah. And India, where does that word come
It's
from?
British, because they call it Indus.
Yeah.
And they make up the name.
Right. So, is it possible to achieve perfect knowledge with imperfect senses? Okay. What does Varnashram mean?
Varnashrama is a social division according to the Vedas.
No, Varna Ashrama.
Varna is 4 social divisions which are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and ashramas are
Brahmachari.
Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Sannyasa, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa.
Right. Okay. What's the name of religion in India? It's actually Varnashram Dharma. This is the culture of the Vedas, Varnashram Dharma. What does culture mean? Balaram. Huh?
Culture means the way of life, how you work, what you do day in and day out.
Yeah, like, for example.
For example, how you treat others, anything that you are doing. How you
Like what? Like what? Say something practical that you do every day.
Well, how you treat your efforts, let's say, how you treat
Okay.
people around you,
How you eat,
how you eat,
how you sleep, how you mate, how you defend,
how you dance, how you sing,
how you sing, how you dance,
how
right?
you pray.
Yeah, how you go to the toilet. All that is culture. Right? Okay, then So how should we accept the Vedic principles?
Self-evident truth.
Yes, axiomatic. Right, very good. And can you give an example?
When cow dung is pure
Yes,
and all other stools are impure.
right. It doesn't make sense because it says stool is impure, but cow dung is pure. But we know it's a fact. Okay. And how should we follow the Vedic truths or injunctions? Yeah, but how should we follow them? Should we accept them or should we reject them? Right. You can't argue against them, right?
Accept them blindly.
Not blindly, but you should accept them as axiomatic truths, right?
We shouldn't argue.
Well, the way to argue in the spiritual life is asking questions respectfully. That's a civilized way of arguing. And then listening very carefully. And if you don't understand completely, you ask another question. You know. That's the way. Not that you argue like the people argue nowadays. Just like just now, I gave a talk in this church, and I said, is there anybody here who believes we come from monkeys? About half the people raised their hands. And I asked the leader, I said, you actually believe you come from monkeys? Yeah, I believe in evolution. I said, yeah, we believe in evolution too. It's evolution of consciousness, not evolution of bodies. You know. But you see where we're at, right? There's a leader of a Christian church. He believes that we come from monkeys. You know, so this is where we've come to today. Yeah. Okay, so then what are the 3 types of pramanas? Yes. You go ahead. Yeah, you raised your hand. Were you scratching your ear or what did we do? Yeah.
So the first one is Pratyaksha Praman, the next one is Anumana Praman, and the fourth one is Shabda Praman.
Third one is...
Sorry, the third one is Shabda Praman. Of these 3, the Shabda Praman is the most.
So what is pratyaksha? What is pratyaksha?
Pratyaksha means using the senses. Anumana is like inductive reasoning, and
Okay, explain what inductive reasoning is.
if there is a smoke, we assume that there is fire. And
Yeah.
it's based on observation, speculation, and experimentation.
Yeah.
And it's not always correct, but Shabda Praman is always right.
Well, if it's the Shabda, if it's Shabda from Krishna
Exactly.
or Narayana, but not Shabda from, Hussein, Barack Obama, Okay, what does Shruti mean and what does Shabda mean? We're going to go around the room. Go ahead.
Listen.
Shruti.
By listening.
Yeah, listening to what? Listening to Vedic knowledge. Right.
Vedanta.
Yeah. Okay. And Shabda, what does Shabda mean? Same thing.
Sound.
Yeah. Transcendental sound, right? Okay. Then, I'm going to ask a question. This is a little more challenging. We all have imperfect senses. Then how is it possible that we can understand transcendental knowledge, which is perfect? Anybody want to answer that? Okay, Sanskriti is going to answer. Okay, what about the bona fide guru? What does he do? Okay, does he make it up? And what does he teach? Huh? Right. So even though our senses are imperfect, if you accept the Vedic truth, axiomatic truth, and simply repeat it without changing anything, you have perfect knowledge, even though you're imperfect. But that acceptance requires being very honest and very self-controlled. Now, to be a BSer, right, is very easy because you just make things up as you go along. But to be a bona fide representative of Vedic knowledge, it requires a very high level of integrity, honesty, and humility to be satisfied by simply repeating. And you have to have faith that what you're repeating is truthful, right? Then you can have perfect knowledge. So that's why very few people can attain perfect knowledge, because they always want to put a little, massage it a little bit so they get credit for it, Yeah. Okay, so there's a statement that, okay, now, what is the difference between Shruti and Smriti? No, let's see, we're going around. Okay, Divya.
Shruti is directly told by the Lord. Smriti is being repeated by wanted guru.
Yeah, by saints. Yeah, about the Lord. Yes, very good. And so now in the material world, there's two systems of knowledge. So we'll ask.
One is oral and another.
What? One is what?
Like hearing.
No, there's two systems of knowledge. Anybody?
Deductive and inductive.
Okay, yeah. Deductive and inductive. So what's deductive and what is inductive? Okay, go ahead. What's deductive, Prabhu?
Deductive is basically accepting the experience. If your father says that when man is mortal, you basically accept.
Okay, there's a difference between material deductive and spiritual deductive. What's the difference?
Material deduction.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, just speak one at a time. All right, go ahead.
Material deduction start with a guess.
A guess. Yeah.
Then you try to, for example, water on the moon.
Yeah, so if there is water on the moon, then it would follow that there should be life on the moon. Now, if you go to the moon and you don't see any life, that means your whole deductive process is thrown out the window, right? It's junk. So you start with something, and then you deduct from it, right? Just like you say, my wife was happy. That means she must be hiding something from me. If she's hiding something from me, it must be that she spent more money than she should have. If she spent more money than she should have, maybe I should look at the credit card statement. You say that's deduction. That's the way it works. You start with a point and you deduct from it, right? So, now what is spiritual deduction? Okay, go ahead. You answer it. Then we just explained what material deduction is. What is spiritual deduction?
From the knowledge of Vedas, what we deduct from the knowledge of Vedas.
Yes.
That is spiritual deduction.
Yes. So, Vedas, if you read 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, the moon is 1.6 million miles farther away than the sun. And the United States and Russia and Japanese and Chinese, they're all saying that they went to the moon and the sun is farther away.
That is fact. Sun is farther away than the moon.
No. You see, this is why this is interesting, right? Just now I asked a question in this church. I said, anybody believe they come from monkeys? Half the people raised their hands. You see? Now he just told me, right? Vedas are axiomatic truth, right? And I said, okay, the Vedas say that the moon is 1.6 million miles farther away than the sun. It also says that the moon is 20 times bigger than the sun.
That's not correct.
Huh?
That's not correct. Actually, it has been proved by science that the sun is far away from the moon.
You believe that?
Yeah.
And you don't believe Srimad Bhagavatam?
Moon is only 3 lakh kilometers from the earth, whereas the sun is.
But, did you ever go to the moon?
No, we have not been going to, but still
How do you know it's a fact?
we have known from the scientific methods.
So, see, this is the whole point. Knowledge doesn't depend on studying. It just depends who you accept as an authority. So, you're in a class in which you're trying to convince you to accept Vedic authority, and you're telling me that this part of Vedic authority you don't accept. You accept the other authority, the scientists. Do you know who the scientists? Do you think the scientists who eat meat, who smoke cigarettes, who do all these, sinful things, you think they're honest?
They may not be honest, but they have experimented and they must.
But how do you know? Did you examine the experiment? Did you ever look at the experimental evidence?
Scientists who did the experiment, they have imperfect senses.
They have imperfect senses. See, this is why we come to the Isopanisad class. Why? Because it's like this. You have a dead rat in your house, right? Now, you don't see it, but you can smell it, right? The smell tells you there's a dead rat. So what just happened now? You have a dead rat in your brain, and it just came out, right? The smell of the dead rat just came out. On one hand, you accept the Vedas, right? You were telling me, like, when I was talking about, the Sikhs, they say Khalistan, right? But you told me, no, they're Hindus, right? Yeah, they don't say they're Hindus. You're saying they're Hindus, right? And then the Muslims, they couldn't pronounce sin, so they said Hind, right? So all that you accept. But when we come to the monkeys and going to the moon, you don't accept. Because you accept a different authority. But you never verified if it's true or not. You don't know. You don't know if it's true or not. So it's just like Lalu. Lalu is a murderer, right? But every year or every couple of years they vote for him to go back to Lok Sabha, right? And he gives speeches, right? Do you believe what he says in his speech? The guy's a murderer. He's a murderer. You say, you know he's a liar, but the scientists, you're believing what they say. On what basis do you believe them? What is the basis? You never verified, and you never will verify if what they say is true or not. Now, you can say, well, I can't verify what the Vedas say either. Okay, but you have to choose which authority you're going to follow. Like, let's say you meet some guy in the street, right? And he's smoking marijuana, and he said, the moon is only 20 miles from the earth. Do you believe it?
No, we don't.
Why not? How do you know?
He doesn't know.
How do you know he doesn't know? When you smoke marijuana, you see things. Maybe he saw things. See, the point is, you don't know if the scientists know either. They could be lying. You see, one thing you have to learn. This is a rule of thumb. Statistics don't lie, but the people that make statistics lie. Right? The statistics, 1 + 1 = 2. It's not lying, right? But the people who say that one trip to Mars happened, and now we're taking a second trip, that's 2 trips. So 1 + 1 is 2, right? But not when you say one trip to Mars and then another trip to Mars. You don't know if they went to Mars. You have no way of proving they went. They show you a picture, but that picture could be from the Mojave Desert. You don't know. You see movies all the time. Do you believe what's in the movie?
All fantasies.
Huh?
All fantasies.
Yeah, it's all fantasy. So they showed you a movie, we went to Mars. How do you know they went to Mars? You have no way of proving it.
But don't you believe that people have gone to the moon?
No. Because the moon is farther away than the sun, according to Vedas. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Even in Ramayana, it is said that Lord Ram is as pleasing as the moon. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with the surface of the moon itself. But the scientists that so-called show the surface of the moon is filled with craters and all that, but that is not the description of the moon according to the Vedas.
The moon is a heavenly planet according to the Vedas. It's a planet in which the devas go to drink somarasa. So it can't be a bad place, right? And it's full of living entities. They say and there's no life on the moon.
See, in Puranas,
Yeah.
when the Sagar Manthan took place, the moon came out from the sea.
Okay. Did it have craters when it came out?
Even Lakshmi came out from the sea. Even elephant came out from the
No,
sea.
but did it have craters when it came out from the sea? Was it described as having craters?
Maybe the Rama planet or something else.
Well, anyway, you see my point. This is why we come to class, because whatever we know is now put on the chopping block. And the person giving the lecture has got a cleaver. You know, he's got his I don't know what the word is in Hindi for the butcher's cleaver, the kasai's cleaver. You know the cleaver, the thing that...
Chopper.
What's it called?
Chopper.
Chopper, yes. So the person giving a lecture has the chopper. And you're putting your brain on the block. He's going to cut out the cancer. No, we don't want to kill you. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We want to chop off the parts that's cancer, right? Okay, so so then. Therefore, Vedas say, Tad Vijnanatam Sagurum Ivabhikachet, or Tad Vidhi Paripatena Paripastena Sevaya, Upadeksyami Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tat Padarshinaha. One must approach a guru. And when you approach a guru, you approach with submissiveness, asking important questions, and offering seva. Then a favorable atmosphere is created for questions and answers, right? You have questions? Guru, who's representing Vedic knowledge, should have the answers. And he should show you in the Vedas where those answers are. Not that he just said, I think, maybe, what if? No, he's got to say, this is in 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, verse number such and such. Right? Okay, so what is the qualification of a guru? Guru has a guru who's in the parampara, coming from Krishna. He lives, he teaches the Vedic Shruti and Smriti as it is, without changing, adding or subtracting. Then he lives according to what he teaches. Right? And he never says he is God. He always says he's the servant of God. And he doesn't let his disciples say he's God. He's the servant of God. Right? And he has no lust, anger, greed, envy, madness, illusion. Why? Because he's always engaged in Krishna's service. There cannot be these things if he's always engaged humbly in the service. So these are the qualifications of a bona fide guru. Most important, Samit Prani Shrotiram Brahma Sukyam. He always repeats the Vedas as they are, the Vedic knowledge as it is. So, what is the aim of Vedic knowledge? What are we aiming for in Vedic knowledge? No, wait a minute, she's answering. You're not answering. Go ahead.
Is it to understand the correct knowledge?
Yeah, what is the correct knowledge? What's the ultimate correct knowledge? Wait a minute. Okay, when you come into the temple, what are you coming to see? Okay, so what's the correct knowledge? Good answer. That's the right answer. The whole purpose of the Vedic knowledge is to understand your relationship with Krishna. Right now, we have false knowledge. We think I'm related to my husband or my family, and Krishna, well, you know, there is a God, you know, there are many gods, and there's one of the gods, and but it's just very theoretical. It's not real. I mean, if I say love the sky, you can idealistically say I love the sky, but it doesn't mean anything. If I say love your child, that means a lot. You can talk, when someone has a new baby, they go around giving people sweets and they show everybody the picture of the baby and they say, he looks a little bit like you, his eyes like you. He say, yes, they're my eyes. So he's got a lot of specific knowledge about the child or the wife or the house or the car or the dog. But if you ask a person, can you tell me about Krishna? They say, he's God. Okay, anything else? He's a nice guy. Okay, anything else? He's up there somewhere, Okay, anything else? Let's talk about something else. They don't really know that much.
Because he's considered all material things, they are real things.
Now, everything comes from Krishna.
Yeah.
So, what was the principle that we spoke about when I told the story about the television show I was on with the Muslim and the Sikh? What was the main point with that? Does anyone remember?
Krishna is a person.
No. What is the? Okay, let's go a different way. What is the definition of God?
God is complete and perfect.
Yes, and keep going.
Control of universe.
No, okay, come on, there's more. No, I know, but there's more. Come on, what is the definition of God? Huh?
He doesn't like anything.
Source of all.
No.
He's full of all six of
He's
them.
infallible.
What? What did you say?
He's infallible.
He's full of all six of them.
No, come on. What? Janmadasya yata aham sarvasya prabhavo. What does that say? Everything is coming from Him. Everything comes from God. So therefore, if everything comes to God, and this one Muslim guy told me, God is not a person. I said, you just insulted God. Don't you remember this story? You remember me telling you? I said, you just insulted God. He said, what do you mean, I insulted? I believe in Allah. I said, yeah, you just insulted Allah. You're a non-believer. You're a kafir. He's like shocked. I'm calling him a kafir, right? I'm defending Allah to him. Now, how did he insult God? How did he insult God? Yes.
He said that God is not a person. He said that he's some sort of a boundless entity. And he said that if you're a person, how can it be that the Lord is not a person?
What's the principle? What's the principle? Everything is coming from God. So how can this man have something that God doesn't have?
And then the Sikh, he said that he will insult all the gurus of the Sikhs if he continues to believe that the God is not.
Well, no, he insulted Krishna also. He agreed with the Muslim.
Exactly.
So the principle is the definition of God is everything comes from God. Aham sarvasya prabhava. 10th chapter, 8th verse. That means whatever you see here is from God. And He has everything that's here and more. He has things that you don't see in the material world. See, He's not limited to just the qualities manifest in this material world. Okay? So these are basic principles that are part of the structure of the world view of a devotee. Try and understand what it means, world view. The way you see the world. Now, what is the difference between material vision and spiritual vision? Wait a minute. That's called a tautology in philosophy. You know what a tautology is? You're not saying anything new. You're just repeating something. That you didn't really add to the definition. What did you just say? You said.
All materialistic things.
Yeah, but that's a tautology. You're just repeating. I said, what's the difference between spiritual vision and material vision? You said, well, material vision is just seeing material things. That's not an answer.
Spiritual is related with the soul. The soul is part
Okay, now you're saying something. Yeah.
soul is part of God.
Yeah. Okay, what do you want to answer that?
vision is illusion, and spiritual is truth, right?
Okay, now, how can we prove that material vision is illusory? It's not an illusion. This microphone is not an illusion. If I get this microphone and hit you on the head, you know it's a microphone, right? It's a metal object, right? So you can't say it's an illusion, but it's illusory. What's the difference between illusion and illusory? Okay, but, all right. Now, right now, how am I using this microphone? Am I trying to sing karaoke, a song, you know, some blues song, my baby left me. Ho, 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 ho. Am I using it like that? How am I using the microphone?
Service of Krishna.
Service of Krishna. So material vision, material concept is using a microphone for singing a song about my baby, right? And spiritual vision is seeing how the microphone can be used in Krishna's service. It's the same microphone. But one way is used for a material purpose, the other way is used for a spiritual purpose. So material vision is not seeing how to use the microphone in Krishna's service and using it outside of Krishna's service. That's material vision. You don't see the connection between the microphone and Krishna. What is the connection between the microphone and Krishna? Yes?
You're using it in Krishna's service to tell him, like, to speak, to choose the
Yeah, that's one aspect of it. There's another aspect. How is this microphone connected to Krishna? What is it made out of? Yeah, which is? Now, there's two types of spiritual energy. There's para and apara prakriti, right? So this is the inferior spiritual energy made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? So this belongs to Krishna. It's made for, and because it belongs to Krishna, it should be used in Krishna's service. That's spiritual vision. But if I think, no, this microphone belongs to me, and I'm going to sing some nonsense song, that means it's material. Okay. So, originally there was only one Veda. Who divided it up into 4? You know the answer, or are you just raising your hand?
I know this.
What's the answer?
This.
Yes.
The current Vedas is Krishna Dvaipayana, and he's the one who split the Vedas, although he's only the 28 Vedas because other Vedas.
Okay, so what are the 4 parts of the Vedas? The book. And 4? Yes. Okay. All right. Then, what is... Okay, so give me the principal Vedas. We just mentioned the Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. What are more... explain to me or describe more Vedic literatures. Upanishads, Puranas.
Then Itihasas like Ramayana and Mahabharata.
Okay.
Then you have the Vedangas. Those are the Kalpas, the Ganesh.
Okay, just stick to the major ones, not the minor ones. Then there's Vedanta Sutra, and then Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Those are the major Vedic literatures. Then there's, these other things, but those are the major ones.
Doesn't Srimad Bhagavatam come under Puranas category?
It's the Mahapurana. No, because the Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of what? Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, it's in a class by itself. It's called Mahapurana. There's no mistake in it. Okay, and then so each of the different sampradayas, well, see, the Vaishnavas never felt any need to write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, because what is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra? Srimad Bhagavatam. But then Sankaracharya wrote a commentary on Vedanta, right, called the Sarirakbhasya. Then, because he wrote a commentary on it, everyone thought that's the real meaning of Vedanta. Of course, it was all false. Right? See, it's interesting. How can I say it's false? Sankaracharya is such a big authority. How can I say it's false? Because he wrote, well, before he wrote this Vedanta, the commentary on Vedanta, his Sarirakbhasya, people thought, I exist, you exist, Krishna exists, the microphone exists, my cat exists, my dog exists, the cow exists, my wife exists, my bank account exists, my car exists, Microsoft exists, everything exists. After you read Vedanta Sutra, Sankaracharya said, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. What does that mean?
Only the Lord is the truth, the world is...
No, not the Lord. He said Brahma Satyam. Right. So, if everything else is false, do you think his commentary on Vedanta Sutra is also false?
You cannot say it's false. It is.
Why not? Because that's what he proved in his commentary. Everything in the material world is false. No. No. Not short-lived. Now you're adding. I'm going to get the chopping block out. You have to put your brain on the block here. I'm going to chop that part off. Right? He says, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Everything in the Jagat, in the material creation, is false. So, what about his commentary? Is that the only exception to his rule? He didn't say that in the Sarirakbhasya. He didn't say, my commentary is not false, everything else is false. So his commentary is also false. That's why I can say it. If he says Jagat is false, his commentary is made with Jagat. There's paper, there's ink, there's glue, there's string, right? And there's some things written on paper. That's also false. The paper is false. The ink is false. The cardboard is false. The glue is false.
But the writing is true.
No, why? Why if the ink is false, the paper is false, why should the writing be true? It's part of the ink. It's part of the falsity.
Writing is based on soul and the eternal God.
No. Why? He said Jagat Mithya, everything in the world. His speech is false. His tongue is false. His brain is false. According to his own philosophy. You see? Okay. So, therefore, what is the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Huh? Huh? What did you say? What did you say? Yes. What does that mean?
Salutations to the...
Wait a minute. Let her speak. Huh?
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of God.
The supremely beautiful personality of Godhead. Who's who? Who is he?
Vasudeva.
Which means?
Krishna.
He's the son of Vasudeva. His name is Vasudeva, right? So, that's why Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. Because how does Vedanta Sutra begin? Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now let us inquire into the nature of the absolute truth. And then, answer is, Janma Dasyayata, which means? That from which everything emanates, right? And what is that? Well, he answers it. The first line of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Krishna is that. It's not just a that, it's a person. And from him, everything emanates. Okay, so we sort of finished a general review of the introduction. And now the invocation we read. And we'll do a little review of the invocation. What does this mantra say? Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasisyate. What does this mantra debunk? Do you know what the word debunk means in English? Anybody know what the word debunk means? What? What did you say? Yeah, okay, yeah. It means rejection. It rejects something, right? So what is this mantra rejecting? Mayavad philosophy. What is Mayavad philosophy? In summary, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mitya. That's what Mayavad philosophy is. You know, basically, Maya, Maya. What does that mean? Huh? Yes, something that doesn't exist, right? It never existed. So what is that which never existed? What Vadi, or Vada means worshipping that which never exists. So what are they worshipping that never existed? Huh? No. No. What is it that, what is that? Yes, that, you know, that they are worshipping. Let's see, how does Mayavad philosophy go? It says that there's nothing beyond Brahman, right? That the Brahman, the light and the energy emanating from Krishna, that is the whole Krishna. But that's a false concept. It's very partially true, but it's not the complete truth. Therefore, they're worshipping something that is not the complete truth. Okay. And they're also saying that the whole material creation is false, doesn't really exist, it's an illusion. That's also not true. What is the theory of illusion of Sankaracharya and the theory of illusion of the Vaishnavas? It's an important question. Yes?
They say that everything illusion doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But we say that it's temporary.
Right. Now, what does that mean, though? It's temporary.
It has beginning and end.
Is that true? What did you say?
So we are eternal, but illusion is that we think this body is reality.
No, you mixed it all up, Prabhu. You got close, but you mixed it up.
So,
Is the material creation temporary?
yeah, material is temporary nature.
Okay, what do you understand by temporary?
Temporary means it will
Lived in life.
Okay, live the life, meaning you're born, then you die, and you're finished, right? Okay, that is false. What you just said is false.
it has a beginning and an end, but the soul is not fall into that category. Soul is
What you're saying is false. What you're saying is false. It's not true. Okay, Balaram, come on now. You're the dean of the Vedic University. You answered this question, Prabhu. Come on, save the day here. Somebody has to know the right answer.
I was about to escape.
Well, so what does that mean? Is it temporary?
That means it exists, but it manifests and then it unmanifests.
What do you say it exists? It exists temporarily or exists eternally?
Eternally.
Okay, that's the point. Material nature is also eternal. What are there are 5 basic tattvas taught in the Bhagavad Gita. What are they?
Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma.
Okay. Of those 5, how many are eternal?
4 are eternal except karma, everything is eternal.
Okay, so what were the 4 again? Ishvara,
Ishvara,
Jiva.
Prakriti, Kala.
What is Prakriti?
Prakriti is the material nature.
The material nature, right? So the material nature is eternal. But why is it called inferior spiritual energy or spiritual nature? Why is it inferior? There's para and apara, right? It's considered apara, not superior. It's inferior. Why, Balaram?
Manifestations are different, so it keeps changing all the time.
It's manifest and unmanifest. Whereas parastasma tu bhavo nyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana yasa sarvasi bhutesu yasatsuna vinasyati, which means
That there is another superior nature which is never destroyed. When everything else in this material world keeps
yes.
getting continuously created and destroyed.
Perfect. Okay, now you can be the dean again. You lost your position for about 5 minutes, Prabhu. Now you can go back and be the dean. Very good. Next time we're going to take that hat away from you. It's probably too tight on your head. It's not letting you think straight. Okay. So now this mantra. Yes, Prabhu.
So you said that karma is a temporary thing.
Yes.
But like one of the lecture, I heard so when everything is destroyed, all the living entities which doesn't go back to the Godhead,
Right.
they go back to the Durga, the Vishnu who is lying in Karna ocean, and when the new universe is created, it is created because of the karma of the entity which is going to be there.
Right.
So then the karma comes back with them basically.
Right. So does that prove that karma is eternal?
No, it's eternal in a sense for the material world, but when they go back to the Godhead, then that is left in the material world only.
Okay, now, he had the answer 95% right. That last part was Kalipili. The last few sentences was Kalipili, but the rest of it was right, Yes.
I know the answer.
Okay.
There are 3 different types of karma. You have sukarma, vikarma, and akarma. Sukarma and vikarma, both of them are fetters, and they will keep us in this material world. But when we do enough devotional service, a karma is placed on hold, and then it will slowly diminish. And when we progress in spiritual life, a karma is all burnt away. And so that's the reason why karma is not evil. And then once we have no more karma, we can no more karma, we have progressed.
See, if karma was eternal, we wouldn't be able to get out of the material world. We would be stuck here. You see, karmani, Krishna says that he can wipe out your karma. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajan. Or sarvadharmam parityaja mam ekam saranam vracha ham tvam sarvapapibhyo moksishyami masucha. See, he's guaranteeing that he can wipe out your karma.
Come to me and our sins.
Yes. Yes. So, karma is not eternal, because at any point it could be nullified. If it was eternal, we would all be in hot soup. Yes. Yes.
Prabhu, so you just mentioned that if karma was eternal, we would never be able to get out of the material world. So, for a pure devotee who has done a lot of devotional service, and by the fire of devotional service has burnt away all the good and the bad reactions.
Yeah.
But I want to verify my understanding what I read. I don't know if I understood it well or not. But
Yes.
I read somewhere that for the pure devotee, a little bit of I think the prarabdha karma still goes on, so that they can continue with the material body enough so that the body, the life in this body can go on. Is that true?
You have to bear the reaction of that.
Well, that means he's not a pure devotee. He's a good devotee, but not a pure devotee. Pure devotee's body is completely spiritualized, because he's using it completely in the service of Krishna. So you're not talking about a really pure devotee, you're talking about a good devotee, but still has some residual desires and therefore some karma. But a pure devotee, why do we not burn the body of a pure devotee? It's a spiritual body. He used it completely in the service of the Lord. It wasn't used at all for sense gratification. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll stop there and we'll continue tomorrow. This was, interesting to be able to discuss all these points. And I have my chopper. You bring your brain, I got the chopper. Yeah. Haribol. Haribol. All glories to Prabhupada.
So we did Kirtan there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, everybody sang
Good, good.
Hare Krishna mantra. Very good idea to take those cards because they were following the Kirtan
Yeah, yeah.
along.
No, I was shocked. The guy says that he believes in evolution. He believes he comes from monkey. Can you imagine that? He's the leader of the troop.
Leader of the troop, yeah. The students were good.
Yeah. They're way ahead of him.
Everybody recited the mantra. In a Christian church, we did Kirtan.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Anything is fun. They like it. Otherwise, the philosophy is all boring.
I just did what we did at that school, where everybody stood up and raised their hands and chanted. And
That's why I wanted you to come.
it's amazing.